Gerald Brister again. Let's do our part 3 here on the audio, and this may be the last one. Let's talk about some welding rods. The rod that we run our roots with the most today is the Lincoln 5P Plus. I mean, Lincoln's got the market cornered. I've had friends tell me that used to teach at the 798 welding school that the students liked the Hobarts better. I don't know, I've never welded with the Hobart. But Lincoln's got the market cornered, and the 5P Plus is a great rod. So let's talk about it. I just talked about the welding consultant and the problems we had on the job, gas pockets, undercut on the roots, and hollow bead. And we talked about what a gas pocket is. It's just some air that's trapped inside your puddles. It can't get out in time. There's not enough shield gas. The mixture and the flux breaks down because you've run the rod too short. Hollow bead happens when you do two things. When you're racing and you jam that space up tight to try to minimize the filling and capping, and then you jack up the amps on the other side. And you will get what's called hollow bead. A hollow bead, think of your root. You've seen a nice root inside the pipe, kind of rounded. It's like a straw in there. It's got a hollow spot running down through it, like a root canal. And I actually had a cutout one time. We had a cutout on the job. I was a welder foreman, and I took a file, and then I took a little grinder and kept grinding that area until I exposed it and I could see it. And that's what it kind of reminded me of, is the x-rays when they do our root canal with that skinny needle. And you're not allowed very much of it. I think it's a ½ inch. I forget in how many inches. But it can mess you up, hollow bead. And that comes from jamming the bevels up, taking too tight a space, and the rod can't breathe. You're shoving that rod into metal and you're smothering the end of the arc, and it screws with the shielding gas. And so that void cannot be filled. And the other thing is then you jack up the heat to try to bust through it. And you can do that for a ways if you have a new rod. But when you get that heat, say on a 532, once you bust that 175 amp range and you're jammed up, I was on a job where they had a lot of hollow bead repairs. It was plagued with them. And on one shift, on a day shift, I was working a night shift, and we had electric machines that were downstairs below the welding stations. And when I'd swap shifts with those guys, I would go down there and set those machines in that bead stall so my hands could not go over 175 amps. And I told them, you take a space enough to be able to weld, but that is a max because they're not going to go any higher. And we had no hollow bead repairs for our whole job. And that was the reason why. So if you burn up these 5P Plus rods, and all of you have probably jacked that heat up on something, up, and maybe you got the bead in there, but the rod was smoking with it. You've seen these 5P rods catch fire, actually. That's because your space is too tight and because you're jacked up too high on that heat, and what it's doing, it's breaking that flux down. And you can have the gas pockets, you can have the hollow beads. A 1/8, I'm thinking if you get up probably above that 145, 150 range, start watching out. That's what's going to happen there. And you don't want to be that guy, right? I'm Gerald W. Brister. That's your hollow bead tip for today.